Yeah, all right. We're going to begin with, I mentioned that some of the front pages were given over to the coverage last night. The Irish Times front page has a couple of pretty distraught-looking fans as we go to the Times Ireland edition to kick things off. With O'Neill, we were decimated, he says, a pretty distraught-looking Martin O'Neill there. And some other stuff down the right-hand side that my failing eyesight can't really pick up on. But
Pogba and Cooney, basically.
Cooney, new deal.
And
Pogba, not a new deal.
Potentially on the way to Barcelona.
Yeah, very good. Right, the Irish Times is our next port of call. It's Republic overwhelmed as Wales cut loose is the front page of the sports section, I suppose, on this one here. It's a shot of Gareth Bale's average enough goal last night. Put Wales.
Well, I'd love to know what the people's takes are on this, actually.
I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating by saying it is clearly not an average goal.
No, not an average. But was it a good goal or was it a great goal? I personally thought when I saw it, that's a absolutely wonderful
goal. Good goal, great goal, top goal, world-class goal. Come on, lads.
You wouldn't say it was a world-class goal, would you? Come on,
no, I wouldn't, for the reasons that I said.
Yeah. Sorry, Eoin, I mean, that's the way it goes, you know.
Top class.
Top class. Tommy tells us to stop arguing about whether it's world class.
I thought you had my back, Kenny. Thanks.
O'Neill points to a lack of composure here is some of the reaction from Emmett Lone, who was in Cardiff for that game last night. And Irish fans win the song contest before the horror show, writes Mary Hannigan as well. That's the front page of the Irish Times section this morning.
That's impressive.
That we won
in Wales, in Welsh crowd.
Yeah,
won the singing competition.
But they got into it after a while, Kenny, and all like it was. They were singing the Welsh national anthem, and they, probably actually a good reflection of the game. It was sort of even Steven for about 5 minutes, and then they kicked our ass. Right, the Irish Independent sports section this morning. No organisation, no direction, no belief is the thoughts of David Kelly on Ireland's miserable night in Cardiff. You can read more of his thoughts inside. O'Neill, drubbing hasn't dimmed my enthusiasm for the Ireland job, writes Dan MacDonald as well. So O'Neill obviously coming out afterwards and saying that, we were thumped 4-1. We've sort of lacked a bit of shape. We could have done better on the ball. But I've still got the enthusiasmos, as Trapp used to call it. We kind of expect nothing else though, right? Like, what else is he going to say at this point? It's,
It's a tough interview for him to give afterwards, I must admit. Never easy for a manager.
About an hour in, you're thinking, what am I going to say after the game here?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit too that we were under strength. Let's just accept it and move on is probably, I can understand it, but unfortunately, I think it's a little bit more potentially serious than that.
Premier race heats up with Maher and Cahill in the mix. This is Michael Verney here writing about the race to replace Michael Ryan as the new Tipperary senior hurling manager. Willie Maher and Liam Cahill in the mix there. Maher, of course, Tips All-Ireland minor winning manager in 2012. He's worked with Derek McGrath, Waterford as well, and Cahill, who guided the Tip under-21s to the All-Ireland as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the next few weeks. That's the Irish Independent this morning. Nice front page of the Irish Examiner today. Cardiff calamity is the reflections here as Martin O'Neill bites his nails during Ireland's 4-1 defeat. O'Neill's Ireland thumped by Wales is the pretty simple headline there in the Irish Examiner.
It did kind of occur to me yesterday evening watching that we were very lucky that this Denmark situation, or very unlucky I should say, that this Denmark resolution has been found. Because in hindsight, we probably want Wales to thump Denmark at the weekend. Because coming in second place, let's not forget, is of very high importance to Ireland. Not just to get relegated into Group C and avoid that, which some people might actually say is a good thing in the long term, but to get into the top 2 seeds and give ourselves the best chance of automatic qualification. This thing is not over. Just because now it looks like a dead cert that we're not going to get into the top 4 places in Group B, we need to finish second. We need to win a game at home. Are we going to beat that Wales team at home? I'd highly doubt it. We might. Like, I know we were talking about the other team who hammered us in our previous competitive game. We're probably not going to beat them at home either, but we've got to put this into context that coming second in this 3-team group is still of very high importance.
That's the biggest factor. You're right on, because I hadn't had a lot of thought about that. I only speak to somebody this week was made aware of that fact. Everybody talking about potentially win your group because qualify to the back door, all the different permutations, but the clear fact that if you finish bottom of your group, that our seeding will drop from second to third for the actual draw in December. That is really significant. We all know the consequences potentially of that, having 2 heavy hitters ahead of you in the draw. So Yeah, so if anybody was talking about, oh, the lads really be up for it, I mean, as a player, that would be my chief focus. You know, you want to play in major championships, and being in the second pot or the third is important, it is really significant. So that's the challenge now going forward, picking ourselves up and finding a few performances between now and the end of the group. And like as Owen says, not finishing bottom of this group, because there's, I wouldn't say dire consequences, but certainly significant.
Feels like we're screwed already, doesn't it? Like it's honestly, like there is no way back for us in this group.
I know.
Like maybe it's too immediate.
Jerking.
No, but it's too. There's a thought. It's too immediate. Like we've 2 games next month. Like we're never going to turn it around that quickly.
2 games next month. We got a game after that, Adrian. Like you see, you forgot. We got
it's
3 games
left.
That point. And the thing is that we're not. I was talking about Denmark before we came on now, Denmark, but in comparison to that Welsh team, I look at that Welsh team, there's 2 or 3 players there, like Ramsey, Joe Allen, in terms of football and ability. In Denmark, Christian Eriksen, we know how good he is, but apart from that, it's not a Denmark team we should be
ripped us asunder in the last competitive game.
I know, that's sadly they did, but again, you could argue there how we contribute. We're talking about formation, you know, reasonably solid the game over in Denmark. We changed it again for the home game, went to a diamond in kind of midfield, lost our way a little bit in the system. Obviously, hadn't prepared a huge amount in terms of the system, got dragged all over the place. Eriksen found his little pockets of space and really opened us up, and the whole thing kind of fell apart. But that Denmark team, isn't it?
Can you see us winning one of these games?
Well, I can, but it needs to be a huge, you know, in terms of the manner, the quality of the performance in possession, and particularly out possession, really needs to improve. That's clearly obvious.
I don't know. I mean, you're feeling much more optimistic.
I'm not saying I'm necessarily optimistic. I'm just stating a fact. Clearly, that's not good enough last night, and we're better than that. Yeah. But it needs a big upturn in terms of individual performance, individual responsibility, but also in terms of the whole team dynamic, the kind of team shape, organisation. All of those things have to get better in terms of how the team's prepared, how we're looking to play, you know, what type of football are we actually looking to play, I'm not a big one in terms of we didn't have possession of the football, how we're looking to play. I don't get too caught up in that. I still see us at our best in terms of a team which plays predominantly back to front early, plays in the opposition half the pitch, squeezes the halfway line. For me, in terms of how good we are out of possession, how compact we are, how defensively solid we are, how good we can be as an attacking force on transitions, on counter-attack. If you think of the famous game in Wales last year, 1-0, that didn't come about from a free-flowing move, the James McLean goal, 10, 15 consecutive passes. It came because Jeff Hendrick put Ashley Williams under pressure, nicked the ball on the edge of the penalty box, and 5 seconds later, the ball's in the goal. So how organised we are defensively, for me, is a big factor in how we play going forward. Because if we're good at winning the ball back, particularly the higher up the pitch, the better, then we're quite good at breaking quickly at opposition teams. That's why last team was disappointing. We never really counter-attacked efficiently last night.
Well, because
the defensive shape wasn't good, and we weren't set up.
The body of proof from the most recent game tells us that none of that stuff is right. Yeah,
well, it's not, because if defensively you're not set up particularly well and the cohesion's not there, well then you're not going to win against a decent footballing side which Wales are. You're not going to win back too much possession of the football in order to kind of counter-attack as Wales did to us last night, winning back possession, hitting big diagonals, getting in behind us quickly before we can regain our defensive shape. We didn't do that because we didn't look as if defensively we were set up well enough last night to poach the ball back, win the ball back quickly, and enable us to break quickly at Wales, which generally we don't do too badly, but we weren't set up to do it last night. Yeah.
Could have done with this guy. I mean, that particular performance.
Oh, this guy, I was going to say 18. I'm struggling there. Who's our famous
the captain that night?
2017.
1-0.
David Myler.
Oh, David, of course, yeah.
David Myler, he sent us in a shirt. He did point out to us on Twitter
and
after
his boots.
It wasn't the shirt that he... we had this conversation before. That the shirt that he wore that night. The black plastic bag, is that the one? A couple of photographs that I want to touch on before I hand over to Owen to bring us through the rest of the newspapers. This is one of my life's ambitions. It's not an extraordinary thing. I don't know why I haven't done it really up to this point, but the Laytown races, it's just every time it comes around, you get these really incredible photographs. That's the back page of the Examiner there. That's the front page of the Racing Post. I don't know why, but I'm really attracted by the idea of going to the races on a beach.
Well, literally 24 hours ago, during the Racing Post paper roundup, Ger was saying the exact same thing. So the two of you could organise an excursion,
right.
maybe. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I've got a soft spot for this part of Ireland, Laytown, Bettystown, used to holiday up there in the caravan, Rush, all that part, North Dublin, heading up that way.
Well, actually, back in that day, Kenny, there wasn't horse racing up there, back in the black and white days.
No, the only horse racing I did was in the amusements. Remember those were like 10p, the horses going to inch the
that's
lawn.
my favourite fairground game of all time. Where you throw the balls up into it and it's...
balls.
Is that the one?
Oh yeah, you got the ball.
Where you got like your different scoring zones.
Yeah.
What a game.
Yeah.
What
And then you tighten up. If you're actually in the lead, the last, you tighten up a little bit.
Is that the greatest fairground game of all time, do you think?
No, but I'm talking about the kind of poor man's version was the one in the actual window. You know, you put 10p in, you press the button, which you think horse would win it. They just went up slowly. That one always came from the back. It always came up from the back and won it.
We've taken a great tangent.
Back page of the Irish Daily Mail this morning is played off the park. No excuses from O'Neill as Welsh batter Ireland. We've also got this interesting GAA story here by Mark Gallagher. O'Connor not interested in vacant Mayo job. That is Jack O'Connor. He's not going to be the new Mayo boss. So there's, it seems, 2 All-Ireland winning managers who are not going to be the next Mayo boss.
Is he going to be the new Kerry boss?
Don't think so. He ruled himself out in Terrace Talk Monday night, didn't he?
Oh, did he? Yeah, right.
As good as.
Right.
He didn't officially say, I'm definitely not going for the job.
Yeah.
He did say, I'm probably
not going
happy enough where I am at
Morris Fitz is getting it, is he?
It could be Morris Fitz, it could be Peter Keane. Peter Keane got into favourite with the bookies at this point.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, so we will see. It should happen over the next couple of days. It seems on the Mayo job, the door is wide open for James Horn at this point.
Away from now, doesn't it? He sort of had a great denial, non-denial at the roadshow last week. So yeah,
just keep the head down and get the job. Get ratified.
Exactly.
Ratification season is in full flow. Full front page of the Herald Sports section is Ireland flop in Wales. Heat on O'Neill as Giggs men run riot in Cardiff cakewalk. You've got Richard Dunn saying no sign of life. It's his column there. He's new columnist for the Herald. So it's grim stuff from a lot of the columnists this morning, and rightly so. Back page of the Irish Daily Star is poison green. O'Neill still has desire after drubbing, while Dunphy is saying we are going downhill at a rate of knots. Rory's racing ahead as well is the story up here, and Pogba won't rule out move. As we said there a moment ago, Paul Pogba could be on the way to Barcelona in January. France drawing 0-0 with Germany last night in the Nations League. Back page of the Mirror is it's men against Boyos. Bale inspires his Welsh wonders to big win over Irish boss. O'Neill's injury hampered squad. It's a long old sentence there, but it's Paul O'Hare writing on the back page of the Mirror. You've got Pogba there as well. You've also got this very interesting one here at the bottom left of the back page of the Mirror. Hoops fume at Gavin's signing. So this is Paul O'Hare writing, Shamrock Rovers claim they are yet to agree a deal with Manchester City for goalkeeper Gavin Bazanu. And if you can make out at the bottom left there, that is indeed Gavin Bazanu signing for Manchester City. Shamrock Rovers said they haven't heard anything about a confirmed signing right yet. They know that they're in the mix. The article mentions the links with other clubs, including Midtjylland, who I didn't actually know were in the mix for Gavin Bazanu. Shamrock Rovers say it's not done, but there is Jason Wilcox and Gavin Bazanu posing for a photo with the new signing. He is going to go back and complete his leaving cert, it seems, and then join them properly next summer. So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. Yeah,
he's
gone back to do his leaving.
He's at the academy signing with the. So I think the story here is that City have enough goalkeepers in their academy at the minute, so they're fine. But they wanted to beat Spurs essentially to the signing of Gavin Bazunu to just lock him down. But we don't need you to come over yet. You stay back in Dublin. Do your leaving cert.
I understand that totally. I think it's the right thing, yeah.
But and they're paying a lot of money for him, by the way. It's $500,000 by all accounts.
$500,000, yeah.
Well, it's about time. For an
Irish player. That's groundbreaking. But this is utterly bizarre. He's stating with the director of the academy signing a contract while his club are going.
They haven't sanctioned it yet, yeah.
It sounds more like a technical issue there for me, more so than anything.
They're hardly trying to squeeze.
It's not a case of Shamrock Rovers are saying we do not want this player to sign for Manchester City. There's obviously agreement between player, club, and potential buying club as well. So I think it's great for I think it's a great story actually all around. He's gone into a great environment. There's a lot of talk. You shouldn't go. You get lost at the big clubs. Far better to start a little bit further down, which I think there is logic to that. But it's difficult to argue you're going into an environment like that in Manchester City in terms of the support network that kid's going to have around them in terms of realising the potential. It's a great opportunity for him. And a decent fee. They're the type of fees we should be getting for players. I'd like to think there's add-on fees, payments in there as well.
Hopefully,
so, yeah, exactly.
Goalkeeper as well, it's bizarre, isn't it? Like, considering some of the strikers and wingers and the likes of
not
Coleman
anymore. We're not in the modern game now, Adrian, in terms of the fees now being played for the top-class goalkeepers.
But in the context of the other players we've sent across.
Well, exactly, yeah, but we've been underselling their players for years, Adrian. You know what I mean? We've been actually giving all our talent away to the detriment of the clubs in the league, because that kind of money should have been coming back into the club. I'm sure Shamrock Rovers will invest it wisely into their academy. But they're the types of fees. They're the types of fees we should be getting for our players because they're good enough. They warrant it.
Tabita morning to you on the back page of the Sun. Killer Whales reads the headline. Cardiff horror show leaves O'Neill in choppy waters. You've also got this Pogba shock story here. Just to read you out the exact quote. Pogba behaving.
It's a nothing story. It's a nothing headline now. Don't even read it out.
He's kind of like behaving like a contestant in Love Island. He's keeping his options open. My future is currently in Manchester. I still have a contract. I'm playing there at the moment. But who knows what will happen in the next few months.
Seriously, is that a story?
I think it probably is.
You could attribute that quote to every single professional footballer over in England.
Give him what's going on with him at the minute. Like he knows that saying that. I mean, Kenny, he knows that saying that is not shutting the door.
Who knows what could happen in the future? Oh well, hold the back pages, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly, that's what they've done.
Clearly, like, yeah. But my point is, it's a nothing story, like.
And
they do have. You don't need to turn it around to it on, but they do have bonking Boris on the front page. So it's not as if you know.
You've also got Anthony Martial on the back page of the Sun. He says he's binned his Manchester United contract talks until he knows what is happening with Jose Mourinho. It was kind of like he put all his chips into the table there, but suddenly they get the win against Burnley, and Anthony Martial is like, actually, that guy might outlast me, so I've got to think about this a little bit harder.
Did you start that with Tab of the Morning to you?
Yeah. Are you not familiar with Tab of the Morning to you?
I'm really not, but I mean, it sounds like something.
It's our item for our best headline of the day, our best most puntastic headline of the day.
When did this kick in?
From the very start of OTB AM. They just, newspapers clearly
I've
just say
done 1/5 of those shows, and it's literally the first time I've heard that.
You haven't obviously been listening closely whenever I say it. Or
Owen in particular.
I mean,
I've been there every Friday saying Tab of the Morning to you, and Adrian's just blankly staring into space. We've made news across the water, but naturally we have, because it's a British newspaper, and Wales leading the way in the Guardian. Bale lets fly in soaring win for Wales. They're going for the Welsh angle, obviously. Real Madrid forward scored in stunning style, as Ryan Giggs' men crushed the Republic of Ireland in their opening Nations League encounter.
I'm alright. Stunning style, I'm alright with.
Stunning, yeah.
World class. I didn't see any of them saying world class.
Yeah,
but he couldn't have done it in stunning style unless he was world class.
Oh, and that's a big jump. That's a big jump down. Not sure I agree with you there.
That looks
like
clear. That's horseshit. Let's face it.